of the sun.
Of
That's
the
what you're
sun.
saying, right?
That's right. Right.
All right. You're saying what I'm saying, because without the moon there, how does the sun balance its femininity? It balances its femininity through the moon. What I'm saying is I balance my femininity through my woman. I balance my femininity through the one I'm with. Here's the problem, and I know it bothers us. Wait 1 second. I know it bothers us, but a lot of us are single. So a lot of us does not have that polarity aspect. So since we don't have the polarized aspect to see a man that makes me feel a certain way as a woman, or for me to see a woman that makes me feel a certain way as a man, now we have this brand new notion where, okay, well, I'm the mother and the father, I'm the masculine and the feminine, I'm everything in one, and we have to balance everything out. What exactly is balance? Now we got to ask ourselves, what is balance? Is balance imitating both sides? Is balance recognizing one side over the, what exactly is balance? Because when we look at our current situation today, in the last 20 to 30 years, I see a lot of emotional men. I see a lot of effeminate men. I see a lot of men that express their emotions and all type of stuff. We have all of that that I keep hearing people talking about. The problem is nobody's teaching a man what their function should be in the correct way to express that feminine side, which should not dominate their entire anatomy. I have a masculine anatomy for a reason. I have a specific glandular structure in my brain that's different from the woman for a reason. When my feminine tries to like do a 50-50 thing with my masculine, my body does not adhere to that because my body does not have the feminine aspects in it. My body has masculine design. Everything from my bone density, my blood work, my brain activity, everything about me is designed for the masculine. So yes, you are right. We possess both, but we are not supposed to be both in some exact equal fashion, or we are not supposed to be both or how would you say, reach balance through the imitation of one another. We're talking about where we at by default. We have no fathers anymore, so now we have to be mothers and fathers. We have a certain type of female today, so now men are doing very, very spiteful things, and men are very more abusive and things like that. You're talking about a default, and because of that default, we want to embrace more what created the default in the first place. What created our state was the removal of each other. That's where we're at. In the 60s and the 70s, they removed the male from the home. They removed the husband from the home. And then it caused a distortion within the family and within the woman. And then the woman picked up her sword, picked up her shield, started stomping around with white feminists, and then talking about, we don't need this, we don't need that, we could do exactly what a man could do. But that's not your design. You might be able to do it, but that's not your design. And every time you're doing something outside of your design, you're taking from yourself. But when you have that masculine design next to you, that's able to go, babe, sit down, I got this. That's able to go, babe, listen, you ain't got to do all of that. I'm here, babe. What you doing all of that for? Now you have time to tap back into your feminine, and you have time to rejuvenate that feminine aspect that's supposed to dominate you. Because as a woman who is more delicate, because do you understand that your entire ovary system and your entire reproductive system, it hangs on very, very thin gangulars? They're so thin. There's parts of your body that is so delicate that you're not built to do certain things that you're forced to do today. And just because you're forced to do it today does not make it right, does not make it proper, and does not make it natural. And we want to keep talking about we need both, we need both. We're going to have both regardless. You could never change that. I could never change the fact that I have a left brain and a right brain. That's both, because the right brain is feminine and the left brain is masculine. That's never going to stop. That's never going to go away. What I'm talking about is the fact of our behavior, our conditioning, our homes, and the fact that we have women and men who are now doing the opposite of their design and function, and they're accepting that. And they're saying, hey, let's keep doing this. But what has the results been? What has the results been in the last 20, 30, and 40 years? What are the results of this balance between the masculine and feminine? Especially the whole gender is a construct thing. What is the results of this? Where do we see ourselves in the next 5 years speaking this stuff into children, speaking this stuff into each other? Meanwhile, we're becoming further and further apart. So I'm talking about togetherness. I'm not talking about you being by yourself, trying to have both the masculine and feminine. I'm talking about seeking your masculine counterpart, understanding the masculine counterpart, and allowing that counterpart to understand you as the feminine, and for y'all to complement each other, COMPLE, by making each other better versions of a woman and a better version of a man. I don't understand the confusion or why that's something that is not embraced by us, or something that is almost seems a slight resistance to that.
Because we don't know. Like, we don't know. I mean, it was hard to recognize. It was when I thought I was being strong and independent and a go-getter and a single mother getting money. I mean, I thought that was what it was supposed to be. And so a lot of us just, I mean, we need more of these conversations because we don't know that we're out of order until we find out we are.
That's the thing, because we can have a million conversations, but if the first reaction is to say things or regurgitate things that's already been taught to us by another group of people, because when I say that I'm both feminine and masculine, what am I really saying? I don't need you. That's what I'm really saying. I'm saying I have a feminine side already. Okay, so what does that mean? That means I don't need my woman. That means I don't need to understand her femininity through her actual anatomy, her biology, her feelings, her emotions, that I can never, I don't care how feminine I think I am, I can never understand what it is to be a woman. The only way for me to understand that is to actually have one in my life. Then I can understand what it is to even, I would not even understand, get close to understanding what it is to respect a woman, be with a woman, love a woman, and need a woman. I can see the differences in what she needs to be catered to compared to myself. I can see the differences that she brings through her inspiration to my life. But if I'm sitting here just talking about I'm already feminine and I'm already masculine, where does that lead us? Where does that lead us? Does that lead us to seeking each other? Or does that lead us to being content within being by ourselves? Or does that lead us to justification for rejecting anyone who comes in our lives that shows us otherwise and goes, babe, whoa, you've been working 2 jobs. You come home, you cook for the kids by yourself. You go to sleep by yourself. You know what, babe, listen, you need to quit one of those jobs. I'm going to be here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, no, I got it. I can do everything. I got it. This is the stage you're at in life. And because of that, the children are being neglected because you got to work 2 jobs. I don't care how great of a mother you are. If you got to work a job that takes you away for 40 to 50 to 60 hours a week, you are neglecting your child. Yeah, that's just a fact. True. You could be the greatest mother in the world. If you are forced to be the only breadwinner to keep a roof over your child's head, you are sacrificing your motherhood at the same time. And I know y'all don't like to hear this. I know it bothers people. I know it does. Because we're in it right now and we have to do it right now. So I know why it bothers us. But I'm talking about absolute facts and foundation to our current experience. Our current experience is this. I don't see no other race talking that nonsense. I don't see Asians talking that. I don't see Spanish people with their corner store while they running it with their wife. Yeah. The wife is behind the counter. The husband is stocking the shelves. Yeah. I don't see the Indians talking that in their 99-cent stores. The woman is behind the register. The husband is at the door, making sure you don't steal. They work together through a function and a design. They don't walk around talking about they already have the feminine or they already have the masculine. Right. They talk about how they have the feminine because they have a feminine wife, how she has the masculine because she has a masculine husband. These notions are not leading to togetherness. And that's why they're pushed on us. That's why being alone is being pushed on us. Be alone, be alone. The ideas come when you're alone. Everything great in your life comes when you're alone. That is nonsense. Because the most lessons I've learned in my life was through all my different experiences with different people. The most I learned about myself is how I react with numerous different people, with different women in my life, with different men in my life, with different occasions to where I'm forced into a crowd and I have to learn how to maneuver and how to react and how to behave a certain way. I didn't learn this being alone, locked in a room by myself. So it's the interaction between polarization, and the feminine is the polarity to the masculine. Yes, you possess both feminine and masculine in your body, absolutely. But guess what? Your anatomy, your biology, and your brain structure is not saying that. Your brain structure is not saying that. Your body is not saying that. I don't possess any femininity in my anatomic structure. So this is why I can't give birth. This is why I'll never understand what a menstrual cycle feels like, because I'm not half man, half woman. I'm not a hermaphrodite. But yet we want to keep pushing that when it comes to talking about the reality that most of us are alone, and most of us are not seeking the balance between the physical vessels, not just in yourself, but the physical vessels. Go on, Auntie Nettie.
I just want to point out that is it Shannon Howard? She has something she'd like to interject.
Thank you. It's kind of it's a while back, but I just wanted to say, you know, within becoming aware and conscious and unlearning things, I think we need to be patient with one another, because that process takes a while. It's not just when you hear some new information, you completely grasp it and have a peace with understanding. You know, like I can just say from my personal experience, when I started to denounce religion and found out like the truth about Christianity, it didn't happen overnight with understanding that we were misled. You know, I kind of still stood my ground and still believed in those things that I've been taught in the past. So with the masculine, feminine, and understanding that this is something that we've been taught all of our lives. So it's not easy for some of us to receive just off the bat that this is the way it is, if that makes sense. So I think that's why sometimes it takes time. It takes time to really have a new clarity and understanding on certain topics. So just being patient with one another in that.
Also, I think
agree.
I think is that brother Cammy Curve? Brother, did you have something you'd like to say?
Oh, Clay?
Yeah.
Hold on, where are you at?
He needs
Can I just, while you're getting that caller, I just want to add one thing. Notice the Queen said, we've been taught this all our lives, but I just want to make a correction.
No,
that's not true.
Right.
Because we've only recently been taught the current agenda of this non-gender social construct, and everybody's both, because guess what? Your grandparents, they knew what I'm talking about right now. Your great-grandparents, they knew what I'm talking about right now. Our kings and queens of Africa and South America and all over the world, they knew exactly what I'm talking about right now. It wasn't a mystery. So it's not that we've been taught this our entire lives. Now, some of us that are only 20 years old and 30 years old, yeah, you could say that. But most of us that are over 30, and most of us that have looked at anything beyond the last 10 years of the current agenda, this is not, everything I'm saying is not new whatsoever. It goes into universal law. It goes into Taoism. It goes into everything that goes all the way back. Big Mama had her job. Big Daddy had his job. They didn't clash. They didn't say, oh, no, I want to take out the garbage. No, I'm going to take out that. No, I want to cook. No, I want to. They didn't do that.
You say you're ready
it's
now?
Not nothing new. But I agree with what she's saying, because it definitely is a process and nothing happens overnight. So please, those of us listening, please excuse my passion, because you know why? I've been doing this a very long time, and I hear the same exact rebuttals of this. We're both. We're the same. We're 50-50. This is equal. This is that. I've been doing this a long time. And to be honest with you, when we follow the trail of those terms and those notions, it leads back to white people. It leads back to feminism. It leads back to LGBT. It leads back to all of this different stuff, which I know is a very touchy subject, because a lot of us want to sustain who we already know, what we already accepted, and I get that. So please, those of us listening, please excuse my passion or my aggression or however I may come off. But I've been doing this a long time, and the battle is so real against straight heterosexual men saying things like this that the average man is not allowed to really talk about without receiving ridicule or rejection. So I just want to